Matt Gibbs is in here. It's Halloween. It's a scary day, and there's nothing scarier than your car breaking down on the highway. How about that? How about that for a lead-in, huh? Good morning, Matt. How you doing?
How are you?
That's really true, though. That is kind of a scary thing when you break down. Have you ever done this? Have you ever been driving? I always thank God, because I usually, knock on granite, I always break down in a good place, like in my driveway. Or in a sunny day on a beautiful highway, there I go. But I don't want to jinx myself, but I've not broken down in a scary place ever.
Ever?
No, I don't think so. Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Where? Where'd you break down? That was scary.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, we need some Halloween music for that. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
No. I just want to hear you say it. Go ahead.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
On the wrong side of a town.
How do you know the wrong side of town?
I could just tell I was on the wrong side of the town.
What happened then, after that? After you broke down?
Well, nothing really. I was just very nervous because I was on the wrong side of town, and all these people were, and this was 4 o'clock in the morning, all these people walking by, and
yeah.
Michael Jackson came out. They were filming the Thriller video. Really freaked me out.
What did you do?
I started doing that dance. I got my car going, brother. Got out of Dodge. Is what
No, when Robin and I hit that cow.
Yep.
Did we called you, didn't we? In the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night. My wife said, "Who was that?" It was Larry and Robin. They hit a cow. Why did they call you? Everybody calls me when they don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do, Matt. What do I do? I hit a cow. What do I do now?
How's the cow, Larry?
Well, that was scary, actually. That was a scary night. The scary part was we hit the cow. We didn't know where the cow went. And so I didn't know if it was lying in the road, and I was afraid another car was going to hit it, But fortunately, not for the cow, but fortunately for everybody, the cow somehow got off the road and laid down, and later on they had to
put him down,
make it into hamburger. But
turn him into dog food.
Yeah, but really, it could have been bad. If another car, because it was dark, you don't see a cow laying in the road.
No.
Do you know I still get nervous? You superstitious at all? Is this considered superstitious? If you have a wreck, every time I drive past this place, I still get tense. Does that happen to you? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary. I don't consider that to be superstitious.
That's not as in much that category?
I would say that that's fear.
Just because you're in the same place, even though the likelihood of it happening again is probably astronomically bad.
Yeah, so we got a guy coming. He came to our house and worked on Joey's bathroom some, and we asked him to take the mirror down, and he was like, he won't take it down. And he's afraid because if I break the mirror...
Oh, really?
I'm messed up.
Did you take it down?
Yeah. I was like, let me show you how to take down the mirror.
Oh, really? Yeah, superstitious.
I don't care if it breaks the mirror or not. I'll walk under a ladder. I'll throw, it just things that just, that kind of stuff just, it doesn't, I just.
Yeah, but if you think that it's a superstition, for example, if you had a wreck on Highway 441 or whatever, outside the pizza place. All right. So the next time you say, okay, I'm just going to stand here by the pizza place because I'm never going to have another wreck right here. Or if you get hit by lightning, let's say, for example, go back to that place because it's not going to strike twice in the same place. I guess. Isn't that what they say?
That's what they say, but ask that poor guy that's in the Guinness Book of World Records has been struck 77 times.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange when you hear stories like that?
Yeah, his family won't even stay in the same room with him.
So we had this guy on from Car and Driver magazine yesterday.
Okay.
All right, and he was talking about self-driving cars.
Okay.
And I asked him about cows. I said, will this self-driving car know if there's a cow in the road? And he said, oh, yeah, it would know. And then I said, what about an armadillo? He just laughed. He thought that was the funniest thing he ever heard. I said, well, wait a minute. When I was first learning how to drive, I said to my father said to me, well, let me put it back. A armadillo walked out in front of the car, and I swerved to not hit it, and I didn't hit it. My father said, you could have flipped us. You should have just hit the armadillo. Is that your same philosophy? I mean, if
my wife might be listening to this, so my wife will total the car for an armadillo.
Yeah, I would probably too.
But I see myself, and it's just me. I see myself reacting. My initial reaction is to flip the car.
Avoid it, yeah.
Avoid the situation.
Yeah.
That's my initial reaction. The thing about it is, did I get the big picture? And when I mean the big picture,
I know.
Do I know what's going around me at that instant?
Exactly. I know.
But my brain, my nature, my personality is to avoid the situation.
Whoops. And then you might pull into another car or go into a ditch or flip the car.
Right.
And meanwhile, all that you would have done before, God, I'm sorry that I'm
is run over an
talking about your creatures this way, but just run over an armadillo. All right, we have questions on the phone line, so let's take some of these. I'm sure they're better than mine. I haven't asked you one yet, even except for superstitious ones. Come on. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Matt.
Well, good morning, Matt. How are you? Sonny calling.
Hey, Sonny.
Hey, Sonny.
I am thinking about this and thinking about hitting cows and armadillos and all that. Maybe that's where that expression came from. Holy cow! That probably would indicate that you weren't the only one that ever hit a cow. Anyway, coming back from Arizona, we drove back, and we're getting near night, and all the jackrabbits come out, and they sit on the road because the road is still radiating heat, and you're trying to stay warm.
Oh no!
And we're riding along, and it's dusk, and then it gets real dark fast when you're out going through Texas, especially western Texas, and for some reason, you go according to maps, but back then the maps, you could misread them, and that's what I did. So we wound up sleeping in the car overnight.
Oh, man.
So what happened, early in the morning, and we feel the car shaking. What the heck is this, an earthquake or something here? And I never heard one. And I look out the window, I couldn't see anything except the cattle were coming over to the car, and they were scratching themselves on the rear view mirror. The outside rear view mirror. Holy mackerel. What a day. But I mean, you talk about hitting stuff, those jackrabbits, for crying out loud, you couldn't avoid them. So that's why we pulled off the road, because I didn't want to keep killing them. And those things are big. They actually put a dent in the bumper of a 57 Chevy.
Oh, Lord.
And that's when we had steel bumpers. So that's why we wound up sleeping in the car. But, I don't think that you could ever get away with that today. Maybe that's why they put fences up. But anyway, it's quite an experience.
Yeah,
and a real question about cars. Did anybody ever figure out how we can figure, for the electronics? I heard something to the effect that they can now take a unit out of the dash and put a exact size replacement in there that would have more electronic gizmos in it, like a bigger, better screen and all that for your radio and your GPS, built-in GPS and all that. And I'm wondering to you, Matt, does that help you out with any of the repairs that you got to make on these newer cars? Well, I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, as this thing changes, and in the car business, it's kind of like home computer stuff. You buy a computer for your house today.
Yeah.
6 months from now, that thing's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, you got this dinosaur! You bought it 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and as fast as that technology's changing, it's this in the car technology is crazy too. I had I think it was a 2016 or 2017 Ford Explorer in the shop last week. Okay, the sonar sensors aren't working right. Okay, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you plug the computer in it, and I can communicate with the system.
Right.
But the problem that we had was there wasn't.
Your job just gets harder and harder.
Well, I mean, just we have two computer programs. One's called All Data, and it's data. It's all data.
Uh-huh.
It's like the old guys like Sonny. He probably had a Chilton manual back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
Well, this is called All Data, and the other one is called Mitchell On Demand. It's through our Snap-on program. Just the All Data program is 30 million pages of information in this program. Holy cow. So here's this 2016 Ford Explorer that has sonar. What the sonar is not working.
What does it do?
Well, what it does is, like, if you're driving down the road,
right,
and let's say you're on a 4-lane highway, and you're on the inside lane,
yeah,
okay, and you want to pass a car, so you turn the turn signal on, then where your radio display is, a camera comes on, so it's looking to make sure that there's no cars there.
Right.
There's a yellow light that comes on the rear view mirror. So you turn on your right turn signal because you're going to go around this car,
yeah,
and there's a little yellow light. Well, if that yellow light is on steady, you don't get in the other lane until that little yellow light starts flashing. Now it's safe to get over.
Wow.
And those things are all controlled by sonar. So I could actually plug my computer into it, and I can look at the data, but I had no information on what the data means. What this data represents.
Right.
So it ended up having to go, because we're, in the aftermarket world, we're a year behind everything as far as all the aftermarket people getting the information, data, and putting it to a program. So I mean, this thing had sonar sensors. It has the backup sensors. It has the forward sensors. It had side sensors. It had 5 cameras on the car. It's like this is...
See, but the very first thing you said is it wasn't working.
It wasn't working.
So if they can fail, then I don't know that I would ever trust it. I would just turn my head and look. Is there anybody there? No.
Well, stop and think about it like this, Larry. I mean, every time you get into an airplane and fly somewhere, I mean, you got a pilot, and what is he doing? He's piloting a giant computer that flies through the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
There's always that possibility, there's always that chance that something can stop working.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, we do have some people calling in. Let's take a call or two. Let's see. What was that? Hello? What is that? Hold on.
Larry, please.
I don't know what that was. I think it was people running over jackrabbits in the desert. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. If you ever go up to Mount Rushmore, there's an area called Custer State Park, which is like a giant open zoo, if you will. Buffalo drift across the road, and you stop because you come in second to a buffalo. And in another place, donkeys drift across the road. And these are pretty big donkeys, and in fact, if your window is open, they'll come over to your window and look for food from you.
Oh my God!
I mean, yeah.
Sounds like fun. Did you bring food with you?
Yeah. My mother gave the donkey an apple, and he went away.
That's good stuff.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
See, I don't want to hit anything. I don't even hit a little thing.
Nah.
All right, we do have another phone call coming in. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, morning, guys. With animals and automobiles, I know, like in northern Wisconsin and probably everywhere up there, deer they're on rut right now, so they're very active. At nighttime, they run across the road. If they're in front of you and they stop and look at you, your headlights will hypnotize them. They'll just stay point blank, and your chances are that you're going to probably nail one because you're moving along at a pretty good speed, and they do a lot of damage.
Yes, they do.
He agrees.
Yes, they do.
Hey, the reason I called my stepson's buddy, who dabbles in cars, they're going to remove catalytic converter from the car for whatever reason. I don't know. He says that the car performs better without it. Is that illegal to do that?
It's not illegal for him to do that. It's illegal for me to do that. It's illegal for me to sell that car without a catalytic converter, but it's his car. And under Florida, we're not under any emissions laws, so it would be illegal for him to do it and then turn around and sell the car.
Okay, but he can, without getting in any trouble, though, he could take it off.
Yeah, he
can. And without it, now, does the car perform better without it?
Well, I don't know what kind of car is it. What year is it? It's
a Chevy. I think it's around 10 or 11.
Well, he's going to have some codes. He's going to have a check engine light on all the time because if the catalytic converter is not there, it cannot be efficient because it's not there. So he's going to get catalytic deficiency codes and possibly get O2 sensor codes, and that does affect fuel trims and stuff like that. So.
As far as that light going on, can you take a fuse out and bypass it?
No, you cannot. It'll just be on.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of fuses, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx them. My fuses never go anymore. When I had in the old days, like my 1970 Nova, I always was having to have some spare fuses on hand. Are they just better today? Is everything just better? I'm sure you see your share of blown fuses.
Yeah, I do. I do.
But how come I don't ever? I don't want to jinx myself now.
No, don't do that. You just don't have any problems.
Well,
right now, you don't have any
type,
problem. Yeah, you're not having an electrical.
But it seemed like I always needed to have that little box that my dad would give me with the spare fuses, and I would always be going to it. It was like a regular thing. Oh, let me just change the fuse. We'll be okay.
And you're okay for a little while, and then all of a sudden you pop a fuse.
Do you remember, I don't know if this was something that's going to show my age, but I remember when a fuse would blow, if you didn't have a fuse, you would take the silver foil from a chewing gum wrapper and put it in there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you can still do that today.
You still do it?
Yeah, you can.
And what's the possible danger by doing that?
Wherever the problem is, could be fire.
Could be bad news.
I'm serious. I mean, that's what a fuse does.
Right.
It's funny how people have an electrical problem and they always say, yeah, it's got a short. And 90% of the time, it's not a short. It's usually an open circuit, not a shorted circuit.
See, I don't even know the difference, to be honest.
Well, an open circuit is a loss of connection. A shorted circuit is something that is grounded to power.
Oh, okay.
So very, very seldom do we see more open circuit problems, either bad connections or, a connector's not, something built up, got cruddy, where you have to take things apart, clean them. We see more of that problem than we do shorted problems.
So here's a question I have. Again, going back to this conversation we had yesterday with the Car and Driver magazine editor or whatever he was talking about self-driving cars. He didn't feel very confident that this was in the near future, although it is in the future. Right now, this computer to my left is down.
Okay.
The actual computer is in the back room, which sits right behind the office that Robin and I share. So when it's messing up my radio in my office. Okay. So if I'm driving a self-driving car, just expecting it to just do its job and get me there, isn't it possible that somebody else's vehicle is messing up and sending a signal to my car that interferes with what it's supposed to be doing?
Is it possible? I would say that the odds of that are probably slim to none. But the possibility is. I had a car come in last week. I can't remember what kind of car it was, but it had a check engine light on. So I went ahead and grabbed this computer and I scanned it, and the definition, the code was like a P1839. So I look up the P1839, and it says disregard code.
Oh no!
Clear and retest.
What the heck?
So it didn't even say it was a code to any kind of system. It just says, just clear that code and start over again, and let's go from there. But here's the thing: it was a glitch.
Yeah.
How many times do we have glitches with our computers?
Right. That's my.
You have to reboot. Like when I walked in here today, you said, Robin, would you go back and reboot the computer? I know. What if you're driving down the road? And So those possibilities are big. I mean, we constantly get updates on the program that is in your car. This program, this is what the engineers came up with when they built the car. But, we found out that, okay, we're having an issue here, we're having an issue here, we're having an issue here. And it's not a part to put on your car. You can't buy the part to fix what your problem is. I have a laptop, I have a module, and I have this. I can go to GM, Ford, Toyota, Chrysler. I can go right to their service websites,
right.
And I can buy the program for your car, like your Buick. If you
see why I like what you're saying here is because of this. I think it's like somebody visiting, anybody who lives here and knows you know your stuff, okay? But somebody visiting from out of town, especially if they got a kind of an arrogant attitude, I'm in a little town and I'm from a big city, I don't know if I trust anybody, I better go to a dealer, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got a shop on 27 and people in that shop that know how to do what you need to have done and equipment to do it with. And the average person driving through, they don't have a clue,
right?
Who to trust.
Well, that's and I do get a lot of those folks that are traveling through that come to us because someone told them to come to us.
So tell them.
So
that's why we do the radio show.
But I want people to. I don't know and do everything. Like I have just right before we came on the air, right before the show started, I got a phone call. I have a Mercedes, an E-Class 550 Mercedes that has some electrical issues. I don't have the equipment at my shop to take care of that Mercedes E-Class. For me, I'm not going to spend.
Oh, okay. Because you don't have that many come in to
warrant the tens of thousands of dollars it costs.
Wow.
To have the
analyze it
to have the exactly, and so. But I work close with a guy that does European stuff, and if he has a domestic or Japanese car, then he calls me, and we work together on these things. So he called me on this E-Class Mercedes that it has a whole list of codes, and we had a kind of an idea of what was going on with the car, but I didn't have the confidence to call the customer and say this is going to fix your car. I don't like doing that to people. So I sent it over to my buddy and Seth he owns Autobahn, and he looked it out. He called me this morning right before we went on the air and said, this is what we need to do to the car. And I said, go ahead and do it, So, because nobody can have the information. There's no shop out there that has all the information. Like I said,
it's a new world, isn't it?
It's just an impossibility.
Wow. So the networking you do with other people who do what you do is really important.
And it's the same thing that we see happening in the medical industry. You have a kidney problems, you go to a urologist. You have a foot problem, you go to a podiatrist. You got this problem, you go to that ist.
Right.
You go to that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's become more focused, and this is what they do.
Right.
And that's what's happening in our industry.
I don't know if this is your commercial or... Oh, that's your commercial. Okay. I don't know where your music is. I found it before, trying to figure our way out of here. So if we need any help with our cars, go see Matt.
Yep.
And it's Sunrise Automotive. Crossroad Auto Sales, by the way, if you need a new car. It's where I got my car from.
Yeah.
And it's where I get my car serviced. and oil change. Are you giving away one today or no? Do you want to do that?
Well, why don't you guys do it during the day sometime?
During later. Okay, later on, during Fun with Joe, probably,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, we'll be giving away a gift certificate for a free oil change at
Yes.
Sunrise Automotive.
Yes.
Now, that's worth what? How much?
$30.86.
Wow. Awesome. All right. You know what? I think I have, sorry. You think I think I found it. Wait. Sunrise Automotive music, please. Thank you. There it is. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. Will treat you right.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here are today's headlines from The Source, WOCA. A successful launch at the Cape, followed by a successful landing.
This is recovery. Stage 1 is landed. Recovery operators moving to section 1.
And we have confirmation from recovery operators that stage 1 has landed.
SpaceX says it successfully landed its first stage rocket booster